Here are 10 fantastic options for 100 proof bourbons. What's up, everybody? It's Ty the Bourbon Guy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to jump right into it. So basically, when I drink whiskey, I enjoy higher proof a lot of the times. Heard this explained by Jimmy Russell once. You order a steak, typically medium or medium rare, something like that, because you want to get more of the flavors out. You don't want them all cooked out. Kind of like that with whiskey. Higher proof a lot of the times gets more of that flavor. It's less watered down. That doesn't mean that I always want a high proof. Doesn't mean that I always want to melt my face off. It's especially as we roll into the springtime. You know, sometimes I like a good 100 proof bourbon. I feel like 100 proof bourbons have just improved over the years. You have a lot more bottled and bond products on the market that have to be 100 proof. And not only the bottled and bonds, but just in general, you have some other products that aren't necessarily bottled and bond, but still bottled at 100 proof. All right, number one, these are in no particular order. So I just enjoy all 10 of these on this list, /11. These right here, I would say bottled and bond products from Heaven Hill, which we're gonna see more of that. Spoiler alert, but I don't know. I couldn't really decide. JTS Brown is actually my favorite out of these two. I know that it's not actually available in as many places as Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I enjoy both of them neat. People come over and want to mix something, perfectly fine with that. These are, they used to be at least, maybe about $12, $13. JTS Brown, I think I've still seen it around $15. Evan Williams actually still has the tag on it in $17.99, so that's even a little bit higher than what it originally was. But either way, you see either of these two products, I really don't think you can go wrong. JTS Brown, I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say anything negative about it. Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, I have heard some people say that they don't actually like that flavor profile. Some people love it, so I think that one's a little bit more hit or miss. I enjoy both of them, and that's why they're on this list. All right, number two, Coopercraft 100. This is a product from Brown-Forman, and this is the prime example of try everything. This is one that really didn't capture my attention much. It kind of was just a bottle sitting on a shelf type of deal. And I finally tried it, and not only just try everything, but also try it in a variety of ways. So I tried it neat, thought it was good, but then actually as I did the review, I decided to add water to it. And normally I don't add water unless it's over 100 proof, but I thought maybe this has the potential to open up a little bit. Added just a drop of water to this, and I felt like it changed that whiskey altogether. It made it just a much more enjoyable experience for myself. And now that's just the way I drink this particular one. I know now to add a drop of water to it every time, but you know, not that big of a difference, but definitely something I noticed when reviewing it. And ever since that point, this bottle has definitely been a mainstay on my shelf. All right, number three, Chattanooga Whiskey Bottled and Bond Bourbon. So I've probably mentioned Chattanooga Whiskey in almost every video, I feel like at this point, but I don't say it just to say it. I say it because I really do feel like these are sleeper bottles. I feel like some people kind of know about them, and I hear people talk about it, but overall, there's a lot of people that are still unfamiliar with Chattanooga Whiskey, and I really feel like you need to get familiar with Chattanooga Whiskey. This is one that, again, flies under the radar. They make a lot of other products as well, and I've never had a bad product from them. I enjoy everything they've done so far. I do think with the higher malt and all that stuff, maybe you have to be a fan of that, but I'm traditionally not a fan of malt, still enjoy all their products. So I wouldn't even let that scare you away. I've heard some people kind of mention that in the past. Regardless of what anybody says out there on YouTube or a blog or social media, whatever, telling you what you should like and not like for whatever reasons, you still try it for yourself and figure it out if you like it or not. All right, number four, New Riff Bottled and Bond Bourbon. New Riff is one that I've just enjoyed since the beginning. I got a chance to go out to that distillery before they even had this product on the shelf, and fell in love with that story and the idea of what they were trying to do altogether. Once they released their product and I tried it, I thought, yeah, this is a very good product. This and their single barrel, a lot of people enjoy their ryes as well. For me, this is a situation where I thought it was good. I enjoyed it for sure, kept plenty of bottles. The single barrels became more of what I was looking for because there's so many different taste profiles within that single barrel range. In the past, I've actually blinded this with other bottled and bonds, other 100 proofs, all these other things, and New Riff wins every time. I've actually blinded the single barrels against other single barrels, against other cask strength products, and that won every single time for me. So it's like weird how I know that I like New Riff, but when I take everything else away and I'm just purely tasting the whiskey and going from there, I really like New Riff. So for that reason, it's got to be on this list. All right, number five. I think this one will be kind of hit or miss, but Henry McKenna 10-year. This one is one that, for me, I enjoy. I've never really had a bad single barrel. I've had some that are better than others. And for those that aren't really familiar, when you have a single barrel bourbon, it's truly coming out of one barrel. And that's going to vary barrel to barrel. Now, some different distilleries and products and all this other stuff can be very different barrel to barrel because of their process. Other times, they can be very similar. I think overall, Henry McKenna 10-year is very similar, but I still think you could find some special ones. And it sounds like some people have found some that are not so good. So I think that's just kind of what happens with a single barrel. The reason I put this on this list, I enjoy it in general, but I always try to keep a lot of these lists to bottles that can be purchased and found. And I've recently been able to find Henry McKenna a lot easier than I have in the past. For that reason, it's on this list. All right, number 6, let's stay with Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, a great product, but I'm even more proud of the fact that Heaven Hill did whatever they needed to do in order to make this available, in order to make this not just available within certain states, but available everywhere. I haven't really heard any feedback saying otherwise. I think it does seem like it's starting to trickle out a little bit more. I see it sitting on shelves, and I typically see it anywhere from $40, $50 range. That's, to me, a fantastic buy at that rate. It should be a repeat buy type of situation. If you've had other Heaven Hill products that weren't really for you, I don't know that this is going to change your mind, but I think overall, most people will probably enjoy this bottle. All right, number 7, Early Times Bottled and Bond. Now this one is, you can see, it's a black top, so it's one of the older ones. When I first heard that that was going away or switching, I immediately went out and got however many I could find of the black top. So I have plenty of those. I still feel like we put too much attention into whether it's the screw top, the metal screw top, or whether it's the black screw top. Or I understand it all. I understand why people kind of say that there's a difference. People have blinded this and actually proven that they can taste the difference. I get all that. Something's probably happening in that sense, but overall, same whiskey. I don't know. In terms of analyzing it that way, we've kind of discredited the new product, and I really don't think it should be. Overall, this is still a fantastic whiskey in the grand scheme of things. It's still a 20-something dollars, depending on your area, low 20s for a liter. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why we get so caught up in all these little minor details, but one may be better than the other, or you may blind this and that, whatever. I don't care. You go to a store, you find this bottle, even if it's got the blue top, it's still going to be a really good whiskey, great price, and a great 100 proof bottle. All right, number 8, 1792 Bottled and Bond. 1792 products in general, I think, are great for anybody, no matter where you are in your bourbon journey, because if you're somebody that's relatively new to whiskey, their small batch, I think, is great. It's a great go-to. I think that the Bottled and Bond is still good because you're not getting into that high proof range. And if you are somebody that enjoys higher proof whiskeys, they have a full proof product that you can get a lot of those rich flavors and that depth there. I definitely get that too. But overall, the 100 proof is one that I go back to all the time, the Bottled and Bond, regardless of the fact that I enjoy the full proof, regardless of the fact that I think the small batch is a good product. And they have a few others that are a little bit harder to find, but I still think the Bottled and Bond is a good one to go to. All right, number 9, Hard Truth. This is their Bottled and Bond 4-grain mash bill. This one has a special place in my heart. Hard Truth in general has a special place in my heart. Shout out to Hard Truth. Fantastic team. I've gotten a chance to go down there and meet them. I've talked with them over social media, over emails, things like that. We've communicated quite a bit. That team to me is just exactly how it should be. I mean, they are a craft distillery doing things the right way, and they care. They truly care about what their consumers think of their products. Anytime they've ever sent me anything, or anytime they've ever, done any of that type of stuff or invited me down, they're just wanting to know what my thoughts are. What is my honest feedback on a particular bottle? And if I love it, great. But if not, just because I don't love it doesn't mean it's not a good product. And that's true for any whiskey, obviously not just Hard Truth, but in general, that team is just amazing to me. I was already behind what they were doing with the rye. I went down there, tried the bourbon. They have a wheated one as well. And I thought for sure that would be my favorite out of the 3. They did a small batch, they did a wheated, and then they did a 4-grain. I thought for sure that wheated one was going to be my favorite until I tried this 4-grain. I guess because there was lower expectations, maybe. I don't know. But it definitely surprised me and ended up being the favorite one for me. I also got to try them out of the barrel. So, Hard Truth, if you ever, I know this video is about 100 proof bourbons, but if you ever want to go higher than that with a 4-grain, I'm all for it. Very good products. They do a great job. If there's one bottle I would suggest on the bourbon side from Hard Truth to at least try, I would start here. All right, number 10, probably no surprise. Holiday has quickly become one of my favorite whiskeys. Bottle after bottle, everything they keep putting out seems to be working. They have a rye mash bill that's also a Bottled and Bond. They have this wheated one that's a Bottled and Bond bourbon. And then they have their Rickhouse proofs. So I've talked a lot about the Rickhouse proof, the wheated version. I've also reviewed this particular one, the Bottled and Bond, and I don't want to get away from this bottle just because that rickhouse proof is so good. I was surprised at how different they are. So that rickhouse proof is much better, but that does not mean that this is a bad product at all. If you are looking for a rickhouse proof and you can't find it, but you do see this, don't sleep on this either. I mean, I would still grab it and try it for yourself. Either way, great product, 100 proof and Bottled and Bond. So everything you could probably ask for from Holiday, and they are knocking it out of the park. And that does it. That's 10-ish bottles that are 100 proof bourbons. If you enjoy 100 proof bourbons, you know, or maybe you kind of enjoy maybe, let's say in the 90s or 80s, and you're kind of wanting to go up a little bit higher without getting too hot, hopefully you find something in this list you enjoy. If you've had any of these, please let me know in the comments which ones are your favorite. I'm sure there's some in here that I missed. Again, when I do these lists, I try to stick to what's in my collection, not just bottles that I'm aware of or that I've had that maybe I don't have right now. I try to stick with what I have because that to me is the reality of it. That's what I have right now in my collection. That's 100 proof that I enjoy, that I would go to 10 out of 10 times. As always, I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.